Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a Bruderheim Council meeting, last one of 2022. It's only a -40 with wind chill outside. Would someone from council be willing to read the acknowledgement? Councilor Wayne.
Today, I acknowledge that the town of Bruderheim is located on Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Métis Nation of Alberta. The town of Bruderheim honors the first peoples of this land. We recognize that we stand upon land that carries the footsteps of Cree, Métis, and Blackfoot, amongst other nations who have been here for thousands of years. Therefore, the town of Bruderheim has an inherent responsibility to foster healthier relationships with First Peoples and further the calls to action as outlined by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Thank you, Councilor Wayne. So as we call this meeting to order at 7 p.m., is there any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda?
Nothing from admin, Mr. Mayor.
Anything from council? Okay, I'll be looking for a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. Councilor Ashley.
I motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Thank you for that motion. Any comments, questions, or concerns with that motion? Having heard none, call for a vote. Anyone opposed to the motion? And the motion's carried. So now we move on to adopting the minutes from December 7th meeting of council. Would someone be willing to make a motion to adopt those minutes? Councilor Rain.
Make a motion to adopt the minutes of December 7th, 2022, regular meeting of council.
Thank you for that motion. Any comments, concerns from that motion for the minutes from December 7th? Haven't heard none, call for a vote. Anyone opposed to the motion? And the motion's carried. So we're going to move on to number 7, council priorities. 7.1, information request. We'll start with Deputy Mayor Judy.
Question, library. Have you figured out anything with that policy?
Mr. Mayor, through Deputy Mayor, as part as like who sits on the board? Yes, I think Mrs. Cote can give us an update on that.
It appears there's something wrong with Legislative Services Director.
So the change to the bylaw will be coming to the January meeting.
Thank you. Anything else under information requests, Deputy Mayor?
No, thanks.
Okay, Councillor John Blank.
Jacobs. Nothing at this time.
Thank you, Councillor Dana. Councillor Len. Thanks, Councillor Len. Councillor Wayne.
Nothing at this time.
Councillor Ashley.
Regarding the library, I just want to let you guys know that we had 3 people who are interested in potentially joining the board. So that's good news since we were having a hard time finding anybody and more info. We haven't touched base with them yet, but in the new year, when we meet again, we'll know more. But I have nothing else.
Thanks, Councillor Ashley. Councillor George.
Nothing at this moment.
Thank you. And for information or program requests, sorry, we'll start with Councillor George. Any program requests?
Nothing at this moment.
Councillor Ashley.
Nothing at this time.
Councillor Wayne.
Nothing at this time.
Councillor Len.
Nothing at this time.
Councillor Dana.
Nothing at this time.
Deputy Mayor Judy.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any information or program requests, so we can move on to number 8, 8.1, Utility Bylaw 10-2022.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Administration would like to provide council with an updated utility bylaw for 2022. We'd like to recommend that town council give 3rd reading to bylaw 10-2022, the utility bylaw. Council previously approved utility bylaw 08-2020. This bylaw was to be reviewed and administration determined some changes were required. Council gave 1st reading to bylaw 10-2022, the utility bylaw on November 6, 2022. Council gave 2nd reading to bylaw 10-2022, the utility bylaw on November 16, 2022. Strategic plan areas, create and maintain responsible infrastructure and development. The updates to this bylaw outline the process for determining if the town or the customer is responsible for the costs associated with utilities that require repair. Build a safe and energetic community. This bylaw provides guidance on the use and control of all public waterworks and sewage disposal works within the boundaries of the town. Pursuing excellence in municipal leadership, this bylaw sets out the terms, costs, and charges upon which services will be provided. Other impacts, legislative and legal, bylaw 08-2020, the utility bylaw. In summary, the new bylaw contains the same information as a previous bylaw with the following changes. Section 2.6.1, change the word bi-monthly to monthly, added section 3.6.5 to section 3.67 inclusive. This information was to add to provide guidance on determine who's responsible for the cost when the sanitary sewer mains become blocked. The utility bylaw 10-2022 will be placed on the Town of Bruderheim website upon third and final reading of council. That's everything, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for that. I'm looking for a motion to give third reading. I think it's third reading. Yeah. Councillor Len.
I give, I can read it here. The town council, the town council give the third reading of bylaw 10-2022, the utility bylaw.
Thank you for that motion. Any comments, questions, or concerns with that motion? I know Deputy Mayor Judy had a question that you had emailed our CAO about regarding this. You must have got the answer, so.
Whatever it was.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, or concerns from council with the motion? Councillor Wayne?
Just a housekeeping one, I think, but on 3.6 E, is it prior to or prior of execution of any work? Is that, it just says O. I don't know if it makes a difference, but prior to execute, okay. Thank you for this, letter E, yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you for that, Councillor Wayne. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? Okay, we'll call for a vote. Anyone opposed to the motion? And the motion's carried. 8.2, cancellation of January 4th meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Administration, I'd like to provide council with information related to the January 4th, 2023 regular meeting of council. The town council canceled the January 4th, 2023 regular meeting of council. Council approved the November 1st, 2022 to October 31st, 2023 council meeting schedule at the October 26th, 2022 organizational meeting of council. Strategic plan areas, pursuing excellence in municipal leadership. Through council resolution, council meetings are set at the organizational meeting of council to allow residents the opportunity to participate in meetings. In summary, during the holiday season, several staff utilize their vacation time to spend time with their families. With Christmas and Boxing Day falling on a weekend, will be closed December 23rd to the 6th and January 2nd, 2023. These two factors combined limit the amount of time that administration would have to prepare a council meeting package for consideration. Information will be shared on the Town of Bruderheim website and on social media. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for that, CEO Patty. Councillor Len, would you like to make that motion?
I'd love to make that motion. The town council canceled the January 4th, 2023 regular meeting of council.
Thank you for that motion. You were a quick draw, McGraw. You beat Councillor George there. So thanks for that motion. Any comments, questions, or concerns from council with that motion? Okay, I haven't heard none. Call for a vote. Anyone opposed to the motion? And the motion's carried. So we can move on to 8.3, Metro Kalen Community Library Budget.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The purpose of this report is to request the town council review the Metro Kelowna Community Library 2023 budget. We recommend that town council accept the Metro Kelowna Community Library 2023 budget as information. Council gave third reading to bylaw 02-2018, which outlines the requirements for the operation of the Metro Kelowna Community Library on January 17, 2018. Strategic plan areas, a healthy, vibrant community, communication with community groups and organizations to help build capacity for their programs and volunteers, and to engage citizens, community groups, and organizations to identify program needs. Open and transparent governance and administration, public presentations of budgets allow for council and public input. Other impacts, legislative and legal, the Alberta Libraries Act, Chapter L-11, one of the revised statutes of Alberta 2000, Municipal Government Act, Chapter M26, RSA 2000, Bylaw 01-2018, establish municipal library boards, Section 5B to D, outlines requirements for budget preparation and follow processes. In summary, the Metro Kelowna Library provides services to residents within the community with some financial assistance from the town of Bruderheim. As per bylaw 01-2018, the chief administrative officer must review their budget annually, and town council reappoints the board members at the annual organization meeting of council. The town of Bruderheim auditors complete the annual audit of their financials. Metro Kelowna Community Library members will receive confirmation that town council reviewed the budget as information. That's everything, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, CEO Petty. Looking for a motion to accept the information on the Metro Kalen Community Library, and Councillor George has got his hand up.
We accept the Metro Kalen Library budget as presented.
Thank you, Councillor George. Any comments, questions, or concerns with that motion from council? Okay, Deputy Mayor Judy has a question.
I guess my only question is at year end for 2022, or is that 2023 estimated cash on hand year end 2022? We've got 53,754.90. Is that normal to have that big of a balance going forward?
Councillor Wayne.
If I may too, there is some extra funds in there due to it not being open during times and salary and stuff like that, but it is normal to be up there to sorry? Yes, yeah.
Thank you for the question, Deputy Mayor. Any further questions on this motion? Haven't heard none. We'll call for a vote. Anyone opposed to the motion? And the motion is carried. So now we can move on to 8.4 bylaw 09-2022, fees and charges.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Administration would like to present the 2023 user fees and charges to council for consideration, recommending the town council give second reading to bylaw 09-2022, a bylaw to impose the user fees and charges for 2023. That town council give third reading to bylaw 09-2022, a bylaw to impose the user fees and charges for 2023. At the December 7th regular session of council, council gave first reading to bylaw 09-2022. The town provides a number of services to the residents of Bruderheim in an effort to enhance their quality of life. The fees for these services are established in the user fees and charges bylaw and are updated annually to reflect increases in town costs while still providing a level of service at a fair and reasonable rate to residents. Strategic plan areas. The user fees and charges bylaw ensure that not only the residents of the town, but customers of the town are also contributing to the cost to provide town services. Create and maintain responsible infrastructure and development, continue to develop and plan needs of the community, build a safe and energetic community, continue to enhance and create new relationships with service groups by offering reduced rates for town services to nonprofit organizations, pursuing excellence in municipal leadership, ensure the community is aware of the fees and charges for services offered by the town. Other impacts, legislative and legal, MJA Chapter M26, Section 8, powers under bylaws allows council to pass a bylaw for the establishment and collection of fees for services provided by the town. This past year, administration continued to focus on reviews of our policies, bylaws, and our website. 2021 saw a significant rewrite of our user fees and charges as it was confusing and being interpreted differently by those viewing the information. The user fees and charges Schedule A was revamped in 2021 to align with the charges with the department that they relate to clarify for staff, residents, and potential development. We've continued to document through 2022 issues that have arose from the rewrite, and the 2023 user fees and charges reflect those identified issues. One of the significant changes this year is in the waste management area. Administration was able to negotiate better rates with GFL for curbside pickup. This rate reduction allowed us to incorporate our organic collection pickup for 7 months a year into our curbside waste collection service. This decision was made because of the positive results we received about our organic pilot in 2022. Seniors will see an increase of $5.51 per month on their waste and recycling collection fixed rate, as GFL no longer offers senior rates. For that $5.51, they will have an increased service level of the additional organics cart for 7 months of the year. Seniors will also receive free curbside recycling every month. In 2022, seniors paid $1.68 per recycling cart. Non-senior households will see a savings of $8.92 per month with a service level increase of the added organic cart collection for 7 months a year. In 2021, the utility fee schedule saw a significant rewrite, and we advised council it would take a few years to calculate the exact rates to account for expenses. The water rates that were established are continuing to be projected to be very close to balancing revenue expenses. The sewer rates are still seeing higher expenses than revenues, however, are getting much closer than in 2021. We feel that leaving the rates for the first quarter of 2023 will provide more data to clearly project the revenue expenses for the sewer. The fees and charges will come into effect on January 1st, 2023. Upon final reading, the bylaw will be placed on the town website and advertised in social media accounts. And we've attached the bylaw, Mr. Mayor. That's everything.
Thanks, CAO Patty. Looking for a motion to give second reading to bylaw 09/2022. Deputy Mayor,
I make a motion that town council give second reading to bylaw 09/2022, a bylaw to impose the user fees and charges for 2023.
thank you for that motion, Deputy Mayor. Looking for any feedback, comments, questions, concerns with the fees and charges second reading motion. Councillor George.
I have a problem with the fees and charges for the seniors. It was sort of a given to the seniors in our community that garbage rates were cheaper. I want to know what the reasoning for increasing it was.
Councillor George, can you do a huge favor and pull that mic a little closer? Thank you.
I'd like to know the ideology behind the increase in the seniors rates. As it always was a cheaper rate for the seniors, as long as I'd like to know why that increase is there.
Mr. Mayor, through Councillor Campbell, GFL discontinued that program for our community, as well as other communities.
Have we looked at different venues and for our services?
Mr. Mayor, through Councillor Campbell, that was part of our spring negotiations. We started shopping around, and that's why we were able to negotiate lower rates for our community. As well as we get one large item pickup per year for free now, which we used to pay $5,000 for.
My question is about seniors.
Okay, we asked if I had negotiated and looked around. I did.
Also, if the seniors rate is going up $5, what is the comparison between non-seniors and seniors rates?
So, Mr. Mayor, through Councillor Campbell, there will no longer be two different levels. So it'll just be waste collection. There won't be seniors and non-senior rates. But seniors are getting free recycling still, which the rest of the residents will be paying for, so that seniors can have free recycling.
Another way to discourage people from coming to Bruderheim.
Mr. Mayor, to Councillor Campbell, I don't know any other community that has two-tiered systems, so. I haven't found any. I have looked.
But following up on Councillor George's question, maybe a better question, Councillor George, would be what would it cost our community if we were to give a discount to seniors for their garbage collection?
That might be a good idea.
So, Mr. Mayor, through Councillor Campbell, that would mean the rest of the residents in the community would have to absorb that because utilities are not taxed. We don't subsidize utilities with taxes. That would mean the rest of the residents would have to go up to subsidize the seniors.
Thank you, CAO Patty. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Looks like Deputy Mayor Judy.
Just a follow-up to that, 2 years ago when we started doing that, being charged for the usage of water and that type of thing, seniors' rates went down tremendously over that time period. So I understand that it's an increase, and I believe we discussed it at the time earlier. Overall, it's still not going back up to what it was then. So they're still saving money long-term. This particular one, it goes up this year and that type of thing. But yeah, when they were paying, when we were all sharing that water, seniors were paying way more. Now they're not. So I think the extra $5 is not a huge amount.
Thanks for that, Deputy Mayor Judy. Any other comments, feedback, questions? Not hearing anything, call for a vote then. Anyone opposed to the motion? one opposed, and the motion's carried. And we move on to the third reading motion. Looking for a motion from council. Councillor Wayne.
The town council give third reading to bylaw 09/2022, a bylaw to impose user fees and charges for 2023.
Thank you for that motion, Councillor Wayne. Again, calling for any comments, questions, concerns, feedback on the motion for the third reading of the user fees and charges for 2023. Councillor Len.
Initially, I was opposed to the water rate changes and I didn't feel it'd be fair to everybody, but after seeing it for a year, as being a senior myself, I noticed a great reduction in my costs. So I think it's, at the end of the day, it worked out better than I anticipated. So I really think we did the right thing. So we took a less burden onto the seniors, and at least it's a balance. This way, everybody pays their way. It's a good deal. Thank you.
Thank you for that feedback, Councillor Len. Any other comments, questions, concerns, feedback on that motion? Just pausing in case there's something that pops up. Hearing none, call for a vote. Anyone opposed to the third reading? One opposed, and the motion's carried. Thank you. And now we move on to 8.5, operating budget.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Administration, the purpose of this report is to request that council approve an interim operating budget for 2023 to allow for the day-to-day operations to continue uninterrupted until council approves the 2023 final operating budget. And Mr. Mayor, I do have a presentation for public if I can go through that.
Oh,
before-
absolutely. Yeah.
So, Mr. Mayor, just to remind our residents and viewers that we have strategic priorities, which the operating budget's built around. Our 4 priorities is develop a balanced economy, create and maintain responsible infrastructure and development, build a safe and energetic community, pursuing excellent municipal leadership. So just to remind us all, municipalities are in the quality of life business, providing value for taxes, rates, fees, and charges. And hundreds of critical and quality of life services are delivered each day and are supported by capital assets. We did some funding assumptions. That's why we do an interim budget. And we're including in the 2023 budget that the Municipal Sustainability Initiative Operating Grant included and allocated towards recreation planning and development. So Mr. Mayor, just as a reminder, we get an operating MSI grant as well as a capital. They're being rebranded, but currently it's supposed to continue into 2023, the operating. Municipal Sustainability Initiative Capital Grant included and allocated towards the 2023 capital budget. And we're assuming that FCS grants will remain at the current level, and Lamont County Recreation and Seniors Foundation remain at current level. Arena advertising remains at current level. And the summer temporary employment program stays at the current funding level.
Just a question on the rec funding. If there is an increase, then that would be impacting when we do the final budget?
That's correct, Mr. Mayor, or a
Thank you.
decrease.
Yeah, thanks.
So the operating budget depends on those funding models to be balanced. Some changes since we presented that are greater than $2,000 since November 16th. We increased the Carol Mushmeyer Arena revenue by $35,000 based on a 5-year average prior to the COVID. As you know, the auditor always question us why if we over budget revenue or expenses. And so I feel that it's good budgeting that we use the 5-year average prior to COVID as a funding. So we increased it by $35,000. We decreased the economic development budget by $5,000. It appeared that council didn't think this was the right time for the community app. So we're trialing the $100 a year app in 2023. We increased legislative services by $2,036 for council remuneration for COLA. And we had some changes in utility and revenue expenses to match recommended fees and charges. So we're projecting the increase for the 2023 operating budget. Operating revenue in 2023, we're forecasting to be $3,553,872. And we believe our operating expenses will be 3,600,100. So we have to, collection of municipal taxation results in 46,228, which would see a 4.62% increase from budget increase from 2022.
Just another thought, if there's a surplus, when we get to the final budget and council directs, we could lower that if we chose to, right? Or if any of the numbers change.
So, Mr. Mayor, if there was a surplus at year end, that would, as per our reserve policy, go into reserves. And then council, when we bring final budget, to bring that number down, could direct administration to do reserve transfer to offset the impact of taxes.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions? So this is just a look. You have this in your package of the overall interim budget proposed for 2023. And just a reminder to our residents, the average assessment in Bruderheim in 2022 was 214,000. And municipal services for $183 a month. Residents receive urban and rural infrastructure maintenance, winter and summer maintenance, ag services, capital construction, transportation planning, traffic safety, parks and open spaces, recreation facilities, family and individual support services, RCMP and enforcement services, emergency services. And just as a comparison for a monthly from Statistics Canada, the current household spends about $1,059 on transportation, groceries 459. I think that's old stats, but recreation about 332, clothing accessories 286, healthcare 215 a month, restaurants 216 a month, communication 200, alcohol, tobacco about 125. So, Mr. Mayor, through council, to maintain the excellent service levels that town of Bruderheim residents have come to appreciate, the impact of the tax to the average assessment would be about $103.58 a year or $8.63 a month if we were to go ahead with this proposed increase.
Councillor Wayne has a question.
Is it, what was that number on the previous? 4 point,
Yeah, it should have been 4 point.
4 point.
Yeah, we
4.62.
lowered it. We found a
Okay.
few more shekels at the, sorry.
No, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We got it down to 4.62. Is that what I said? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay.
4.7, that's right.
Thank you.
The 2023 budget achieves the objectives of delivering balanced and fiscally responsible operating and capital budgets, reflects the programs and services requires to meet current residents, committed to safety, supports the maintenance of our capital investments, aligns council strategic priorities, and retains fiscal sustainability both in the short and long term. Is there any questions on any of that, Mr. Mayor, before I proceed with the rest of the request for decision?
Anything else from council questioning on the budget presentation? Councillor Wayne, do you have a question?
I just thought it said something differently on one of the pages prior. I just want to make sure we're all on the. Is it 4.6 something?
Yeah, it's 4.62 with 2 digits and 4.7 if it's one. So my apologies for that confusion.
So it's just, okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
if you go to 2 digits, it's 462, but financial
stick with 2.
accounting goes to 47.
Stick with 2, it's lower.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wayne.
Sorry for that confusion. We should have stuck to the same number of decimals. So the 2023 recommended interim operating budget was presented to council on December 7th, 2022 for discussion. In the proposed 2023 interim operating budget, taxation revenue has increased by 4.7% over the 2022 operating budget. So total revenue, $3,507,644. Interim operating budget expenses projected at $3,553,872. And then you back out the amortization of $494,277, a difference of $46,228 or 4.7% to balance the budget. Strategic plan areas, a balanced budget ensures the residents continue to provide municipal services. The interim operating budget authorizes administration to continue with the expenses associated with delivery of services until the final operating budget is approved in 2023. A healthy, vibrant community, continuance of current service levels in the community, Open and transparent governance, public presentations of interim operating budget allow for public input. Other impacts pursuant to section 242 of the MGA, council must adopt an operating budget for the calendar year. The proposed 2023 municipal budget requires a 4.7% tax revenue increase to deliver a balanced and fiscally responsible operating budget that reflects the programs and services required to meet current resident, business, and industry needs, aligns to the council's strategic priorities, retains fiscal sustainability both in short and long term. The proposed manages RCMP cost increases, projected loss of revenue at the Carol Mushmar Arena and Starlight Campground, and a projected inflation rate to purchase goods and services to maintain current service levels. It also provides a 4% of cost of living adjustment for council and staff. Property taxes are not set at this time. The property rate taxes for 2023 will see first reading April 19th, 2023, when council has all the necessary information they require in order to set the tax rate. Upon council approval, administration will make the approved interim operating budget available for public viewing on the town's website and social media platforms. And we've attached the budget, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for that information. Before we ask for a motion, just a question. If we wanted to change the allocation of a line item within the budget, do we need a motion for that, or is that a consensus by council?
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, I didn't understand the question. If we
So
wanted to.
line item within the budget, for example, communities in bloom is under economic development. If that was to change, do you need a motion from council, or is that a consensus decision by council?
We've never, it's not really a council normal, I guess, a motion, if you need an answer.
Okay, I just wanted to alert council, sent out information about the economic development and tourism. We have an advisory committee, and the goals set out for that is to foster and support local small and medium business development that creates economic growth. And number two, attract and encourage large business industry that brings innovation, diversity, and employment. I contacted 22 different communities out of the 29 that were a part of Communities in Bloom in Alberta. And they have Communities in Bloom under Parks or Community Development, or CIB has its own GL account line, but none of those 22 out of the 29 had economic development where they would allocate Communities in Bloom funding for. And the Communities in Bloom falls under the Alberta Parks and Rec Association. So knowing that information, if someone from council wanted to make that motion, I'd be entertaining that motion to change the allocation from Communities in Bloom under economic development to Parks and Rec.
Mr. Mayor, just as a point of clarification, it's community revitalization, which has a number of things under, which is, one of them is Communities in Bloom. It was a flagged item. We presented a 2-page report outlining all the things that are covered by community revitalization. So I just want to be clear that it's not just Communities in Bloom.
Okay, thank you for that. So again, if anyone from council wants to make that motion, I'd be open to entertain that motion. Otherwise, we'll continue on with the motion for the approving the 2023 interim operating budget as presented. So someone willing to make the motion for the 2023 interim operating budget as presented? Councillor George.
I'll make a motion that council accept the 2023 operating budget as presented.
Thank you for that motion, Councillor George. Any comments, questions, or concerns with that motion? Councillor Lamb.
Being consistent over the years, I hate over 4%. You know, I will be consistent, and I will always battle that. I don't like a 4% because in time it's 5%, 6%, 10%. And I don't like to be like the city of Edmonton where they spend $100 million on bike paths, which is absolutely ridiculous. So we have to start controlling our spending. And to me, 4% is adequate, but I have to go with the rest of the team.
Thank you for that information, Councillor Len. As you know, there's a possibility that it could be lowered when we get to the final budget. Yep. Any other comments, Councillor Wayne?
Just a question. This hall, this isn't rented. This isn't rentable. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Mayor, through Councillor Alecko, that's correct. We do not rent this out.
Can organizations use it, or is it just for
meeting space, Mr. Mayor, through Councillor Lecco, and as well as any member of council who's a member of a regional committee, that committee can use this as well facility if one of our council members is a member of that committee.
Okay, thank you.
And I have to say that our regional partners as well. So industry partners that support Bruderheim, we provide this as a meeting space. We've really made it into a meeting space. And sometimes that does include a meal, but the focus is the meeting.
Okay, no, thank you. I just noticed there was nothing on here. I was wondering, and I didn't see it in the fees and charges, so I was wondering if there was, because there used to be a charge for it, right? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Wayne. Any other comments, questions, or concerns from council with that motion? Okay, call for a vote then. Anyone opposed to the motion? Councillor Len. And motion's carried. Thank you for that. So we move on to the approve the 2023 capital budget as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Administration, the purpose of this report is to request that council approve the 2023 capital budget. The town council approved the 2023 capital budget as presented. The 2023 capital budget was presented to council on December 7, 2022 for discussion. The total of the 2023 capital budget is $444,145. The capital budget is funded from MSI capital of $192,250, donations of $9,000, CCBF of $242,895. Strategic plan areas, planning and design of future assets, as well as the rehabilitation and revitalization of current assets. Sustainable and safe infrastructure, planned maintenance and life cycle repair. The creation, purchase, and construction of new assets. Open and transparent governance, public presentation of the capital budget to allow for public input. Other impacts pursuant to section 242 of the MGA, council must adopt the capital budget for the calendar year. Building a responsible capital budget involves allocating resources to meet both today's needs and requirements for long-term financial sustainability. Several factors must be examined in terms of capital projects. The pressures of infrastructure, maintenance, growth, and new capital projects must be balanced against the impacts on future operating budgets, staff resources, and available funding. It's critical to rethink, revitalize, and preserve our capital assets in order to meet community priorities, accommodate a vigorous and resilient economy, and continue to provide the essential services residents rely on each day for safety and enjoyment. Upon council approval, administration will make the capital budget available on our website and share with staff, and we've attached the proposed capital budget, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I'm looking for a motion. Councillor Len. Please use your mic.
That town council approved the 2023 capital budget as presented.
Thank you for that motion, Councillor Len. Any comments, questions, or concerns with that motion from council? Councillor George. Please use your mic.
I have a few questions. I'm going to start off with the hall. We have $103,000 on the hall exterior upgrades. With no real information as to where this money is going to be used, how it's going to be used. But I would like to reiterate, we have a very big problem with a building in our town here. And it needs funding to be fixed. And if we don't fix it pretty soon, we'll be outside without that building. I would like to see the hall exterior upgrade be taken out and that allotment go towards the admin building for the restoration of the library and the work that needs to be done in the building to make it a safe place to work
Sorry.
for our staff and for the library technicians that are working in that building and as well as the residents that use it.
Thank you for that, Councillor George. So are you making a motion or are you making a recommendation for council to debate or?
I brought that as information, but if you want me to make a motion, I will.
Okay, because we have a motion on the table
Yeah.
right now.
But that is something to think about. Because as it stands right now, we have not got the funds in our budget to cover the expenses on hand.
Is there any response from administration on this request?
So Mr. Mayor, I guess you would have to take, if you want to change the budget as presented, you would have to defeat the motion based on Councillor Campbell's, if rest of council wanted to discuss that prior, if there's other. And then we could adopt a capital budget based on council's recommendations, right? That's different from this tonight.
Yep. Is there any feedback on what Councillor George is suggesting?
So, Mr. Mayor, currently we have not heard back from insurance. They are going to be doing a roof analysis that they're paying for. And we probably won't hear until mid-January, end of January, I would say, on a decision. Usually it takes over the holidays too, so we didn't include it in the, and the capital budget can always be amended, right? If we came and insurance won't cover the damages, or if it's a cost share thing, or we'll be coming to council to amend the capital budget.
Okay, so what we'll do then is we'll debate this motion. And if the motion is defeated, then we can have another motion with the changes that George is suggesting. So
I think that this is something that council has to really, really think about. Because I seen what the extent of what the problem is with our building. And if $100,000 covers it, we'll be lucky.
thanks for that, Councillor George. As you heard from CAO Pat, the roof inspection will tell us more of the story.
Yep.
And unfortunately, insurance is paying for that. So we have Councillor Wayne and Councillor Len and Councillor Dana.
Just to go off of what Councillor George is saying, I think we go with what we have here on paper, and then in due time, if something were to come to us, we can adjust at that time. I'm not against that. The money's there. And it's something we can look at as soon as we hear back from the insurance company or whoever's doing the assessment on the building. I do have a question on the trail system resurfacing. Is that just like filling up any potholes and stuff, or is that covering up all the overgrowth that's coming in so that the walkways are there 3 feet wide or wherever they typically are? Does that?
Mr. Tomashat, I'll let you address.
Mr. Mayor, through the councillor Letko. So are you talking about the cracks that go across the walking trail?
No, I'm just talking about where the path goes from 3 feet wide down to 2 feet or whatever, right? And it kind of expands out. Will this make the path the width that it's supposed to be?
No, it will not. It'll cover existing width of path, but it will not enhance or expand the existing path. It'll only, what we're looking for is longevity to keep that path in play. We're not looking at enhancing the width of it at all. So those costs are borne on that number that we presented.
Okay. And then I guess in the 5-year plan from now, is there plans to look at revamping those walkways, the paths, to make sure that they're all in good shape? Not that they aren't, but to maintain them, I guess, going forward.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, through Councillor Letko, I think that that's a long term. Obviously, our administration, all of us are going to be looking for grants for recreation to provide that sort of future enhancement, if you will. As you can imagine, to do that whole walking trail, I think the West Woodlands, if I put it toward what we got a cost for up in Brookside, we'd be looking upwards to around $100,000 just to overlay that existing path. So I think it's prudent for us to look for recreation funds, grants, if you will, rather than take that out of operating costs. So we will diligently be looking for those in the next few years. But during those years, we need to maintain what we have. And this is the plan going forward, is to maintain what we have.
No, excellent. No, I just want to make sure that there's some kind of a plan going forward in the next 5 years, whatever it is, so we don't lose what we have and we kind of, so no, thank you very much.
Councillor Len.
Well, I think we beat this up last meeting quite a bit, and I think it was a good thing. It's this whole capital budget is all grants, so there's no direct cost to taxpayers at all on it. And I believe Dennis last time told us this is a sealant what's going on there, which gives the longevity of those paths a greater time, so we don't have to spend more money on them. That's what this is, all just a sealant. We're not changing it, the past, we're just sealing it. And I think that's a good idea. And so I support the capital budget as it's presented because I feel it's a good one and it's no direct cost of citizens.
Thank you, Councillor Lynn. Councillor Dana?
What Wayne said at the beginning, so there's no point in repeating it. I agree with him, so.
Thanks, Councillor Dana. Any other feedback from council? Councillor Ashley?
So I also agree with the capital budget. So later on in January, should something arise, we can change. We can take out items if need be for the admin building, or those changes can be made.
Yes, Ms. Sinclair suggested something that if council felt more comfortable, they could make as a motion once passing this, that administration to bring back the capital budget for review once more information is received about the admin building, if that made council more comfortable. That because otherwise we would only bring it back if there was additional funding needed or a change on funding sources. If that would make council more comfortable, could put that as another motion.
Just a motion to bring it back after more information is
Right.
received. Okay.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Good suggestion. Any other comments, questions, concerns, thoughts on the capital budget?
Who made the motion?
The original motion for capital budget was Councillor Len. You have a comment, Deputy Mayor?
So then when you take a friendly amendment that we would review it if something changes with
No,
our
it
admin
would
building?
not be an amendment. We would vote on this motion and then we would have another motion to direct administration to bring the capital budget back once we know the information on the roof on the admin building. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, call for a vote. Anyone opposed to the capital budget motion? And the motion's carried. Now I had to entertain Councillor George.
I'll more than happily make that motion that we bring back the capital budget for review after we receive more information on the administration building.
Repairs, yep, that might be required. Thank you for that motion, Councillor George. Any comments, questions, or concerns with that motion? Okay, I'll call for a vote. Anyone opposed to that motion? And the motion's carried. Thank you very much. Good, great discussion. We can move on to, I think we're at the reports, 9.1, Mayor and Council Committee reports, looking for a motion. Councillor Ashley?
That council receive the mayor and council committee reports as information.
Thank you for that motion, Councillor Ashley. Any comments, questions, or concerns with that motion? Councillor Dana?
No, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Lamont County Food Bank on they had a really well organized Christmas hamper thing they put on, so they did a really good job, and it's nice to see people come together and do stuff like that. So it was really well organized, and yeah, thank you.
Yeah, great for that reminder, Councillor Dana. It was a good opportunity to be there, and was a lot of people there. Seemed to be pretty well organized. A couple things that were missing from my report is today I had lunch with Reeve Dave Duke from Lamont County. It was a good discussion, and I'm hoping that we can have more fruitful discussions and closer relationships fostered with Lamont County and the municipalities within Lamont County. And attended a Saturday night Christmas party put on by MLA Pat Wren, and that was downtown Edmonton. I was invited to go by CAO Patty, a recommendation to attend because our MLA wanted someone from Bruderheim to be at that. So I can fill council in with the details, what I learned in the in-camera session. So is there any other discussion on the mayor and council committee reports? Haven't heard none. We'll call for a vote. Anyone opposed to the motion? And the motion's carried. Now we need a motion for 9.2, Chief Administrative Officer report. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
I make a motion that town council receive the chief administrator officer report as information.
Thank you for that motion. Any comments, questions, concerns with that motion? Councillor George, please use the mic.
Just in regards to our snow removal, are we able to keep up with it and within our budget line, Dennis?
Mr. Mayor, through the Councillor Campbell, yeah, we were on budget and everything was good. I think most of council saw Public Works out there on Saturday, and a couple of us on Sunday. So yeah, I think we're doing good. The town looks good. Snow's packing good. We got a good cover on it. I drove the whole town yesterday and today. Absolutely no slippery areas. As all of you know, sand and salt does nothing at these temperatures. So of course, if it gets worse tomorrow, we would look at putting a few chips down at intersections, but really we haven't seen anything that stands out as a concern right now.
I'd like to take this time and to thank our public works people for all the good things that they do to keep our town safe and prosperous. And a Merry Christmas to all those on public works.
Thanks, Councillor George. Great feedback. Any other comments, questions, or concerns with the motion? And also like to thank Public Works for getting the outdoor rink open same day as Fort Saskatchewan's outdoor rinks. Great job, Public Works. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Councillor Wayne.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just gonna kind of echo those comments. I've heard a lot of great comments about the skating rinks and how they appreciate having both choices out there for kids and families. And they said the ice is great. So thank you very much and have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you all, council. And just as a personal note, Public Works staff went way above and beyond on cold temperatures to get that ice in. Very committed, and they know how much it meant to this community. So great job to my staff. I can't say enough about it. They've been doing a great job. So thank you all of council.
Thanks, Dennis. Any other comments, questions, or concerns with the motion? Haven't heard none. Call for a vote. Anyone opposed to the motion? And the motion's carried. Now we can move on to correspondence and information items. Looking for a motion to accept that as information. Don't all rush. Councillor Lamb. No, that's you.
I move that we accept all the information as presented.
Thank you, Councillor Len. Any comments, questions, concerns, feedback on the correspondence and information items? Haven't heard none. Call for a vote. Anyone opposed to the motion? And the motion's carried. And we can move on to looks like we're to closed session. Is that correct? Yep, we just did the correspondence. Yep. Yep. So need a motion to go out of the public session. Councillor Wayne.
I make a motion to leave public session.
Thanks for that motion. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Anyone opposed to the motion? And the motion's carried. I will look for a motion to go into closed session, or do we want to have a break before we call for the closed session? And just checking if anyone needs a comfort break.
Yes, we need a comfort break.
Okay, so
I will say yes.
I'll entertain the motion for the in cameras in 5 minutes. Need a motion to go in camera? Council Ashley,
I motion to go in camera.
thank you for that motion. Any comments, questions, or concerns with that motion? Haven't heard none. Call for a vote. Anyone opposed to the motion to go into closed session? And we're in closed session.